Hi, my name's Ashutosh Sharma, and today I'm going to be explaining you my HTML homework for Internet Web Technology. So this is the second homework, and I'll be explaining each question's code and explain how it runs. So here we go. So for the first question is 4.4. So you write a CSS rule that places a background image halfway down the page, tilling it horizontally. The image should remain in place when the user scrolls up or down. So we'll take you to that code. So this is HTML. So this is the first question for 4.4. So this is the code. And to explain it in detail, so we'll go straight into the body. So in the body, you have the background image, URL, logo, RF. So this sets the background image for the body element, and the image file, logo, RF ping is used as the background. Then you have background repeat X. So this specifies how the background image should repeat. And basically, repeat X also means the image will only like like appear, yeah, or repeat horizontally. And then you have the background position center 50%. So this sets the initial position of the background image centered, and it's also horizontally centered. And the image you can also say, I think it's vertically also 50%. Um, so in a sense, it's placing it halfway on the image. And then you have the background attachment fixed. So this ensures that the background image remains in place when the user scrolls through it. So when I run this, so copy path, go into Firefox, paste. Yeah. So here we go. So places a background image halfway down on the page, tilling it horizontally. So here we have at like the F logo like for Federer, and you can see that it's horizontally repeating. So that's question 4.4. And now we have, I believe we also have a question. The next question is, just check Finder. Just double check the homework. Homework two. So the next question is again 4.5. So 4.5, you have to write a CSS rule that gives the header one and header two element a padding of 0.5 ES, a dashboard style, and a margin of 0.5 ES. So we'll go to Visual Studios. This is question 4.5. So this is the code. So basically the header one and header two. So these are the elements in the HTML document, and the rule inside the curly braces will be applied to both of the elements. So we have the padding 0.5 EM. So this sets the padding around the content inside the header one and header two elements. In this case, it sets the 0.5 EM. So there'll be a space of 0.5 times the font size on the content. And then you have the border 1px dash blue. So this sets the border style of the header one and header two element. It creates a 1 pixel wide dashboard with the color blue. And the px specifies the border with the dash and the border style. So the border style will be, I think, it'll be a slightly blue. And then you have the margin 0.5 EM. So this sets the margin around the header one and header two element, and it adds this space of 0.5 times the font size outside the border. So when we run this code in Firefox, copy path, go into Firefox, East. Boom. So you can see your dashboard, and you see the highlighted blues, the blues and the dash blues on the border for both. So this was for question 4.5. And now the next one is 4.7. So for 4.7, you have to make a layout template that contains a header of two paragraphs. Use a float to line up the two paragraphs columns side by side. Give the header and two paragraphs of border and or background color so you can see where they are. So to get to the question, this is question 4.7. This is the code. So basically from the beginning, you have the header one tag right here. And so this tag is basically styled with the yellow background and a green text color. And it also has the center text alignment, and it also has the padding of 10 pixels of padding on on all sides. And you also have uh, a solid gray border at the bottom. And then you have the columns. So basically, you have two columns, and in the two elements, you have a so you have like the width of 40%, float, so be left, the margin is 4%, padding is 10%, and then you have the border, which will have the solid gray. And then in this column two, you also have width of 40%, but float, it'll be on the right side position. And the margin's 4%, padding's also 10%. The border will have a 1 pixel solid gray color, and there's a border box. So when we run this code in 4.7, so copy path, go to Firefox, East, boom. So you can see we did a part of it. So here's the header. So I have the header with the yellow background, and then we have the two columns lined up together, which one says Roger that and Roger that too. So that was question 4.7. And now we have question 4.8. So for question 4.8, so we have to add an embedded style sheet to the HTML5 document in figure 2.3. The style sheet should contain a rule that displays the header one element in blue. In addition, create a rule that displays all links in blue without underlining them. And when the mouse hovers over a link, change the link background color to yellow. So basically, I'll show you the code for 4.8. So basically, it was in the textbook, so I copied it in the figure 2.3 links HTML. So basically, in the so then the styling for the header one, so this style will have a blue color. So basically, the text within the header one tag will be displayed in blue, and then you have the stylings for the links. So for the styling links, the anchor element links are styled to have a blue color, and there's no there's like a text decoration. So so we'll be like removing the underlining by using the text decoration none. And then we also have the hover effect for the links. So for the hover effect for the links, it it's like it's used to style like when the mouse hovers over them. So in this case, it'll change the background color from blue to yellow. So you'll see here with the favorite sites, Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare.com, and Google.com. So when you click over them, it'll change to a yellow background color. So it'll be blue, but then you'll see it when you hover over it, it'll turn yellow. So when you run the code, copy path, case 4.8. So you see here are my favorite sites. So click a name to visit that site. So when you hover over it, it changed from a blue color, the background, it turns into a yellow. So if you do that for Twitter, you do that for Foursquare, and you do that for Google, it changes the back colors. This was question 4.8. Now we have question 5.4. So we'll go to chapter 5.4 now. So this is question 5.4. So it's text stroke. So create a text stroke on the phrase new WebKit features. Make the color of the text light blue. Use a 3-pix navy text stroke and set the font size to 700%. So let me go to the code for 5.4. So this is the code for 5.4. And so basically for the P, the paragraph styling, so it's like in a CSS style. So the rule targets the paragraph element and applies several styling properties to it. So like you have the text color and you have the light blue. So this property sets the color of the text inside the element to light blue, and then you have the text stroke WebKit, which has 3px navy. So this property is used for creating a text stroke, so outline around the text, and then you have the font size also of 700%. So this property will set so this will basically set the font size um, of the text inside the P element to 700%. And this makes, so basically this will make this text very large. So when we run this code, so copy path, Firefox, here, basically you have the new WebKit feature. So basically this is the code, the output for 5.4. So now the next question for it's 5.5. So for 5.5 is rounded corners. So basically we have to create a three different element, each with a width and height of 100px. On the first element, create a slightly rounded corner using a border of 3px black and border radius of 10px. On the second element, use a border of 3px black and increase the border radius to 50px. On the third, use a border of 3px black and increase the border radius to 100px. Make the ground color of each element a different color of your choosing. Inside each element, display the value of the border radius and bold text. So go to, wait, my bad, delete this. So now go to question 5.5. This is the code that I did for 5.5. So basically, so for the CS styling, so you'll have the rounded box. So this defines a common styling for all three boxes. And the boxing style, you have box one, box two, box three. Uh, so so basically in each box will have different background colors and border radius values. So box one will have like a yellow background color and a border radius 10px, and box two you have a background color of purple with a border radius of 50px, and with box three you'll have a blue background that'll have border radius 100px. And and also So each, like basically each box contains a span element. So this will display the value of the border radius in bold text. So when we run the code, so copy path, and then as usual, go to Firefox, paste, boom. So here you see in each box or each circle, you have a different background color. So yellow, purple, and you could say more of a lightish or darkish bluish. And you can see that each the outsides are highlighted and are bolded and inside with the 10px, 50px, and 100px for each box. So this was question 5.5. And the next question is 5.7. So in question 5.7, so linear gradient. So create a div element with a width and height of 500px. Create a diagonal linear gradient using the colors of the rainbow, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So when we go into the code, let's go to 5.7. So basically, you have the rainbow div style. So this class is applied to the div element, and the div element has a width of 500px, each making it into a square. And then you have the linear gradient background. So this basically will apply the background of the rainbow colors, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And then you also have that's basically what the linear gradient is. It'll do. It'll take uh, also two parameters. So the angle will also have a 45-degree uh, diagonal gradient as well. So it should be in like at a 45-degree angle. So let me put this in. So you just do copy path, paste. Boom. So you have, so basically you can see the rainbow colors and you can see them all at a 45-degree angle. So you can see the colors. You can see like blue, violet, purplish, bluish, greenish, and you can see them all changing colors, but in a 45-degree angle. This was question 5.7. So now the next question is 5.9. So 5.9 is animation. So created infinite animation of an element moving in a square pattern. So when we go into the code 5.9, so we have the CS style of a moving element. So this sets the initial styling of the moving element. And inside you have the height of 50px. So this sets the height of the element. You have the background color. So the background color is going to be green. So give a greenish background. And then you have a position relative. So uh, this will be so it's will be in its normal position in the document. And then we have the keyframes move square. So these are like you can consider them as animations. So this animation is named move square. And you also see the inside there's the percentages. So this will present like the animation's progress from like 0 to like 25%, 50, 75%. And some you'll see some in like top left positions, and like the 100px, like for the 50%, this will be in the bottom right corner. So when we run this code, copy path, paste. So boom, you can see how it's a square. So you can see how it's moving in all four corners. See how you can see it's moving to each side. This is question 5.9. So Now we have the next question after 5.9. We have 5.13. So let me go to question 5.13. Basically, it's saying modify the example in figure 5.16 to use a vertical flex box. So 5.13. So basically here we have the links. So this is the link. And we also have the flex box layout. And this class is um, so then we have the flex box. So this will be applied in the div element. So this will create the vertical flex box layout. And also this flex box has a 600 width of 600 px and a height of 420 px. And as well, you'll also have the flexbox div. So the transition ease out WebKit border radius 10 px. The border radius will be 10 px. You have a border of 2 px solid black. Width is 120 px. The margins and paddings as well. And you've seen the flexbox div. You'll have background color of light gray. And then you can see in the flexbox did hover. It has the width color white, font will be bold. In the Flexbox Child 1 hover, you'll have a background color of a royal blue, and the second one, you'll have a background color of a crimson type, dark green. The height will be 250 px, and the overflow will be hidden. And here you see div class with all sources, the PNG. So it has the alt good programming's practice icons and etc. So when we run this code, copy path. You go Firefox. Boom. So here, good morning practice. So basically, when you hover over it, it'll use a bluish background. So good morning practice icon. Calls attention to techniques that'll help you produce programs that are clearer, more understandable, more maintainable. And then you'll have the error image error prevention tip icon. So you can see the background image here is in a reddish color. The common programming error icon, you click on this, also has like a reddish, has also reddish type as well. And then the software engineering icon below, this is more in a greenish type as well. So this is the question for 5.13. And now the next question is 5.14. So 5.14 transformation with hover. Create a transformation program that includes 4 images. When they use the hovers over an image, size of the image should increase by 20%. So when we go to the code for 5.14, so this is the code. So you'll have basically, because you have the image here. So this so this sets the initial width of all the images to 20%. So basically in the container, it'll be like 20%. And then you have the image hover. So like when you target over this specific image, like if you do Nadal, Rafa image, so basically the width of the image will increase by 40%. So basically when we click on, so when I put this into Firefox, you'll see this at its 20% image, so it'll be in a smaller size. But when you hover over this, so if you hover over the Rafa, Roger, Novak, Murray images, it'll increase its width by 40%. So I'll show that in Firefox. So copy path, so go to Firefox, paste, boom. So you can see you have the images of Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, Novak, and Murray. So basically, you're seeing this image and it's 20% uh, like range. So basically, when I click on Nadal, you see the images increases. And so then when you click on Federer's, you can see his images also goes up. And keep in mind the images, the way they're clicked on, so they have different sizes. You can see if this is Rogers. You click on Novak's, it also increases. And you see Andy Murray's. Andy Murray's is also goes up. So there you go. So now we have the next question. So the next question is five. Oh, so now we'll be going to chapter six, so 6.19. So we'll be going down to 6.19. So into chapter six. So for 6.19, write a script that gets from the user the radius of a circle, output HTML5 text that displays the circle diameter, circumference, and area. Use the constant value 3.1415 for pi. Use the GU techniques shown in figure 6.7. Note you may also use the predefined constant math pi for the value of pi. This constant is more precise than the value 3.4. 159, the math object is defined by JavaScript, provides many common mathematical capabilities. So use the following formulas. R is the radius, diameter is 2r, circumference is 2 pi r, and area equals pi r squared. So when we go into Visual Studios, so 6.19. So basically, you can see the inputs, the button, click calculates it. You have the ID output, and then you have the get element ID. So the basically, um, so this inputs and outputs the paragraph using the get element ID, and then you also have the calculate function. So this is to perform the calculation when the button is clicked, and then you have uh, the diameter 2 dot parse flow radius value, the constant circumference 2 times math pi dot parse, and then the constant area math dot pi dot parse flow radius dot value dot parse flow. Then you have the inner HTML diameter. So this will basically find everything: the diameter, the circumference, and the area. So when we run this in the code, so copy path, go into Firefox, paste. So let's say we put 55, calculate. So it shows that the diameter is 110, the circumference is 34.575, blah, 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 blah. Then you have the area 90, 9503.317777. So so basically after putting calculating it in, making the calculate button, you can say it shows the diameter, circumference, and area for any number that you're going to put in. So basically this was question 6.19. And now the next question is 6.22. Next question, 6.22. So write a script that reads in two integers and determines the output of the HTML5 text that displays whether the first is the multiple of the second. And hit use the remainder operator. So this is question 6.22. So basically the input type text ID, which is the first number, input type text ID for the second number, button on click. So this will calculate it. and the ID will be, so this will show the output, and inside you have the constant first number, so you use the get element ID for the first number and for the second number as well, and then you'll have the output constant output, so this will get the output of the element I as well, and then you have to calculate, so constant multiple parse flow for the first number, and then for the second number value. So if multiple equals 0, the inner HTML, so the first number is the multiple of the second number. Else, if it's the output, inner HTML is not multiple of the second number, and then it'll output the inner HTML. So when we run this, so copy path to our box. Let's say we put in 44, 44. This output inputs multiple of the objects. So let's say we do 55. This is not a multiple because it's different numbers. So this is question 6.22. And now we have 6.24 as the last one. To write a script that calculates the square and cubes of the number from 0 to 5 and outputs the HTML5 text that displays the resulting values in HTML5 table format as shown below. And this script does not require any input from the user, so this is how it's supposed to come out. Number, square, cube, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 8, 3, 9, 27. So in a sense, kind of like odd and even numbers in here. So the last question, 6.24. This is the code. So here you have the table border 1, and then you have number, the square, and the cube. So this will, in a sense, like make the like the chart itself, and then you have the body and the script. So for let I equal 0, I is less than or equal to 5. So this is more of like a CSS type style that I've put in, and I plus plus. So constant square of I uh, times 2. So this is like a for loop. So it'll continue going until it reaches its limit. And then you have the document right tr and then td for the square and cube. And so after, like, in a sense, it completes this for loop, you'll have all the numbers. So when we run this in, copy path, Firefox, paste, boom. So you can see the number square and cube as shown in the figure and 6.24. So you have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, not 1, 1, 1, 2, 4, 8, 3, 9, 27, 4, 16, 64, 5, 25, and 125. So this is the output for 6.24, and that's all for homework 2 of HTML for Internet and Web Technology. And um, this is Ashutosh Sharma, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Bye-bye.